Hello and welcome today. Um, for the sharing with the snake, I will just try to close this thing on the left. How do I do this way? Okay. Okay. So I'm really excited to be doing this today. I nearly didn't do this training because I felt I need more time to prepare it like 2 weeks ago, and I just decided like no, let's just do it because I feel we need to do this shedding thing until we still have that energy of shedding the year of the snake. So I just went for it, and within a week I just got it done, ready, organized, ready to go with everything. So really hope more people will join. Maybe someone still will join. Sometimes people join on day 2 or 3. So let's just keep on going and let's do this. So what I want us all to feel during this retreat, during these 3 days, is the the conjoined energy of the whole group of the awakened mothers rising, because in our society I feel, and this is not only my opinion, this is something quite prevalent among the spiritual community and the people who are little bit into the sacred feminine, that we have been trained to forget uh all things about how femininity. Oh, hello, Erin. um like the motherhood part of femininity, the way motherhood is viewed and presented in our world right now creates that separation, and we all um feel isolated as moms, as mothers, and that leaves so much pressure on us that it actually is the opposite to what is natural for mothers. So I want to create something opposite. I want to create a sisterhood of mothers supporting one another through different ways. Um, and in that way, I want us all to feel more supported, to feel, um, oh gosh, I think my internet might not be. Um, Sometimes my Wi-Fi acts up. So what I do is I will connect my laptop to my phone network because it sometimes works better than the Wi-Fi. And done. Okay. So this should go a little bit smoother. Um, so what I want to create, that I want to bring in that ripple effect that mothers will um feel supported, that motherhood and mothering and being a mom is no longer draining, because it is when you are alone. But when you are truly supported, when you have your village, when you have other mom friends, when you have uh family that helps you, supports you, when you have people to talk to, adult people to talk to, motherhood doesn't have to be drained. There are, of course, the moments that everybody would be drained, like when kids are sick and they wake up over the whole night, or when they're babies and their natural rhythm is not yet the same as your natural rhythm. Um, so this all comes much easier when you are well supported. So before we move on with um, the retreat, I would like to share a little bit of housekeeping. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so this is the Awakened Mothers Rising school community. So what I want us to do, um, when you watch the recording or after being part of this live call. Oh my gosh, I didn't click it. Why did it start playing? Um, okay, so the thing is, I will actually pin this post, this one. Day one reflection. So after this call is finished, I want you to go to this post. I will actually pin it right away. Why not? We are already after that activity and we are on to this activity. All right. So I will want you to go to this post and share um, your reflections after today's call. After you watch the recording or after you watch it live, um, it doesn't matter if you are live or watching a recording. There will be a task for you, but I will explain that later in the video. And I would like your feelings after that. If you're watching a recording and it's day 2, 3, or later, you won't find this post here. You will have to go to the classroom. And this is the classroom that you already know because I hope we all watched the videos from the start here and looked at the library and the next steps. These are the programs, and here's shedding with the snake. So I would like you to go here, and here we have everything. There's the pregame, the exercises that I sent you over the past 3 days, 2 and 3. So if you haven't done them, you can still catch up and do them here. And here's the post where you share your aha moments from the pregame. And here, the video you're watching will be here. If you are watching the replay, you're probably already here. So what I want you to do after watching the replay, go to the reflection post and share why sharing is so important. This is exactly what I just talked about, because that way we connect with other moms in the group. There's no other way right now in that kind of online space. Share your reflections. That way you, first of all, you process deeper, because when you verbalize things, you activate more layers of your brain than when they only get done subconsciously. The second thing is another mama might read that, and everybody is a little bit different. Everybody takes things differently, um, and may have different reflection, different aha moments, different things that pop for you. So your attention gets to different things. So someone else might not see what you are seeing, and vice versa. So comment on those comments so that other moms see that they helped you as well. And the third thing is that through sharing, we create that sisterhood in this community, in this group. And this is exactly what we want to create here, to be together, not next to each other, to be like a one organism, creating all that beautiful magic. Um, okay, so my greatest vision for moms, and this is what brought me to creating the Awakened Mothers Rising, to creating Hearth Light and Mother Light, um, is that vision. And I truly believe it is possible. Maybe not in our generation, maybe not in our children's generation, but sometime in the future, I truly believe it is possible that we can create a space, a society, like maybe a whole world through that ripple effect where mothers are deeply supported, loved. Motherhood, like the vision of motherhood is back to what it should be. It's no longer like a burden to the economy, which always has it's ridiculous. Like without motherhood, there would be no humanity. There would be no economy, no society. Nobody would live if there were no mothers. And yet we are told, sometimes maybe not directly, sometimes they try to veil that message somehow, but in one way or another, we are told that motherhood is a burden to society, to the economy, um, and to that overtly masculine world, overly. Um, so the thing is, hello. Hi. So the thing is, we can do that starting from ourselves, starting from our daughters, możesz, starting from that ripple effect. Because when you nie w tej chwili nie. So if we begin with ourselves, we create that ripple effect that if we create with how we feel about motherhood, how we speak about motherhood, how we speak about our children, uh, we create that ripple effect in the world to go further. And that's why I created both Here's Light and Mother Light, so that we feel empowered, so that we feel we are in the right place, so that we are no longer shamed or blamed for everything that happens in the world. Um, and even if we are, because that might not change right away, we have the tools and the power to not allow those attacks to bother us. So we know our own value and uh, our mission and our um, yeah, our and we have our tools to go back to um, center. All right. So I lost my train of thought because of her. So what I wanted to tell you is how it actually started, that I created this space. Um, so Amelia is now nearly 6. But before she was born, so it was 7 years ago. My son was 2. I was a teacher at a state school, primary school, and there was a lot of tension in the society at that time. Our government wasn't very supportive of good education. Um, and there was a nationwide teachers' strike in Poland, which lasted for a month. And it was such a burden for, like, I didn't realize how difficult it would be. Też tak myślałam, jest jedna mama. So after a month of being um like there was even in the media, like the state-owned media, everything was against teachers because we were the bad guys of the society then. So after a month of that, I had a literal nervous breakdown. I couldn't go back to school. And I realized that my emotions were affecting my son, who was 2 at that time. So he became more clingy. He had sleeping problems. He wouldn't let me leave home because my anxiety directly impacted his anxiety. Um, I realized that my emotions shouldn't actually affect my child in that way, that I, as the adult, I should find the tools to regulate my own nervous system so that it didn't impact my son in such a negative way. So first thing I discovered was emotional regulation, which is a very simple process, not easy, but simple. So everybody can do that, even though um, even though we need to know how to. We are not taught that. I wasn't taught that as a child. Nobody teaches that at schools. Well, maybe now some awakened teachers do, but there's few of us who do that. And actually, if you don't have that practice at home, school only might not be just enough. So that's why I realized, like, as a teacher, how do I help those kids if what I do at school um, doesn't have enough impact? So that's why I thought maybe I should start working with moms and empower them to have the tools to support their children at home. Amelka, widać ci wszystko. Support them at home uh, while teachers support them at school. Um, and I got pregnant with this little munchkin. Um, and started a blog on parenting. So my goal was to help moms raise a happier, calmer, more emotionally regulated children and themselves to feel good as well. So that nervous breakdown actually led to where I am now because I started as a parenting coach. I started talking about emotional regulation, about regulating anger, about um, the impact the emotions have on our lives and the nervous system and things like that. But then I got I got more and more into spirituality and the sacred feminine. And now, after a couple of years of doing that, I decided that this is exactly the space that I want to fill with um, loving, magical moms who want to change the world alongside with me to create that ripple effect in the world and help not only our nervous systems, but to create that spiritual, vibrational ripple everywhere. No, naprawdę mi przyszło też. So yeah, this a little bit about me. So if this sisterhood is something you feel you need, you feel you want, and you would enjoy being, this is the right place for you to be. I will be talking more about that sisterhood. So now during the year of the snake, I want to release all the, like during the very ending of the year of the, oh my God. Not the child and the cat. If not one of them, then the other. I attract the best people and animals in the world. If you're here, you're one of them. So I try not like try. I never get angry when my kids enter my calls because I realize that I attract them because they're just the best. Um, so the thing is, I want to release the frustration. I want to release, like the past year has been really difficult and hard on so many of us as I talk to moms, um, the moms who build Motherlight with me, or the moms I meet on social media or here in the Awakened Mothers Rising. Everybody says that the past year, 2025, has been very energetically heavy, like pulling us down. And the reason for that is that this was, first of all, it was the 9 year. Like when you add the numbers, 2 + 2 + 5 is 9. So it was the end of a numerological cycle, a 9 year cycle. Now we started 1 year, like year with number one, like 2 + 2 + 6 is 10, 1 + 0 is 1. So a new cycle started numerologically when it comes to the number. And at the same time, it was the year of the snake, which is now ending. And we have 2 more weeks of that. And it closes like the 12-year cycle of the Chinese calendar. So both cycles coincided, like the ending of both cycles coincided now. And this is why this energy is especially strong right now. And this is why this is like the last call to shed what's still lingering. Because when the year of the horse starts, and it's a fire horse, so this year will be fire. But in order to move with the speed of the horse, we need to release all the unnecessary baggage. Because, like, when you have a horse burdened with all the goods and everything, it won't move as fast as a racing horse. So we want to be the racing horses. Um, so that's why the shedding, that's why excuse me, my daughter is bumping doors. One second. Co się dzieje? Amelka, co się dzieje? Co się dzieje? Nie. A możesz się pobawić w tym, albo byli bajki. O co chodzi? No zapomniałam ci mówić? Amela, ale nie mów takiego pięknego. Wiesz, że możesz mówić, tylko chodzi o to, żebyś mi nie przeszkadzał w trakcie filmu. No weź sobie lalki albo bajki, albo telefon, no nie wiem, jak to robili. No mnie się udało, a teraz jak ja mam nagrane, to teraz masz problem. To weź sobie lalkę i idź tam na uspokojenie. No, chodź tylko cichutko. Okay. So this is mom life. This is if anyone watching this or joining my calls needs to like stand up or children walk in, it's never a problem because this is how mothers have always been working while having kids. Like kids were always somewhere there in the background, or there were mothers doing the work and one of them was looking after the kids, or the kid was just next to the mom. There was even one, I just saw a post a few days ago, one member of the European Parliament who just had a child, a baby, a month before she was elected to the European Parliament. And she attended all the sessions with the baby wrapped to her body. She went to the European Parliament with a baby on her lap. Like the time she was elected for wasn't like a month, it was like 4 years, I think. So the child grew, and there are photos when she has the child on her lap and votes in the European Parliament. So this is natural for us. This is the way we run businesses. This is the way we do work. And the masculine society wants us to be isolated from our children, to be isolated from the society. So we have to choose whether we want to stay at home or go to work. Well, this is unnatural for women. And this is what I want to like introduce, to normalize, to show this to the world as a way that things can be done this way. Yeah. So today I want us to figure out exactly what are the things that are still holding our fire horse in place, that are not allowing it to go into full gallop. The skin on the snake. And I asked you to write down a list of things that frustrate you, your frustration list. So if you haven't done it, I would invite you to do this right now. So question to Erin, since you're the only one live today. If you can reply in the chat or unmute yourself for a moment. If so, the question is, have you done the frustration list? And if not, do you have the means, the tools? I know you're at work now. Do you have the means or tools to actually do that right now, or do you prefer to just do that later on today? And in the meantime, I forgot. I prepared it, but I forgot. I wanted to light a candle, and by some coincidence, it's a blue candle, so it's supposed to activate the throat chakra. So we can clearly speak about the things that frustrate us, the things that stop us, the things that don't allow us to fully be ourselves. Because this is basically the work we're going to do. We're going to shed all the layers that aren't us so that we can stay true and pure and exactly who we are supposed to be. So have you done the frustration list?
I did, yeah. I have a few things.
Okay. Okay, lovely. So yeah, so I won't waste our time right now. So anyone watching the replay, feel free to pause the recording and write down the frustration list. So just take a piece of paper, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel all the things that bubble up that you don't want anymore in your life. And this list is not closed. So whenever something just shows up, feel free to write it, add it to the list. So you can actually it can be a living organism as long as the shedding goes. Um, yeah. So let's begin. Let's have a deep breath. You can light a candle too if you can, if you have the possibility. So let's plant our feet on the floor. Take a deep breath. And first, let's start with the body. Let's start with what feels a bit stiff, a bit uneasy. Like 2 days ago, I woke up with a terrible pain just under my shoulder blade. So just watch your breath. Don't try to make it any faster or slower. Just watch how it goes, and it will naturally slow down as soon as you give your attention to it. So, if anywhere in your body you feel a bit uneasy or there is some tension, try to focus your attention on that spot and just see that feeling, that niggle. Does it have a shape? Does it have a form? And you can even ask it, what is the message behind? What is it trying to tell you? I might ask my shoulder blade. But actually I have something else a little bit lower today. You may even see a color of that feeling thing in your body. If you have more spots like that, you can go through all of them. Your body stores all the emotions that are unprocessed. So if there are some things that you just stuffed up and didn't allow them to be addressed in the moment that they happened, they are likely somewhere in your body. So if you have a tension, if you have a feeling that something is a little bit uneasy, something is a little bit off, I always have backache when I'm stressed. So that's also meaningful about all that. So, my shoulder blade started talking. and all the things that you want to release. You can create a new frustration list or just put those things that your body is telling you about or add them to the frustration list. Because what I will ask you to do with the frustration list, if you wrote it in your journal, you have to write it down on a separate paper or tear that page out of your journal because I want you to actually burn it. So what I will do, I will take my frustration list and burn it over the kitchen sink just to make sure it's safe. Um, but burning things gives you, like Jane can tell you more about that. Jane from the group. Um, Burning things allows us to process energy that we cannot in any other way. Amelka, co się dzieje?
Mamo, ty powiedziałaś, musisz jedną lalkę, to ci jedną.
Amelka, baw się jak chcesz, tylko nie hałasuj i nie pisz, okej? Okay. She's just sleepy, like it's 8:40 now. I usually put them to sleep at 8:30, but for the 3 days of this training, I decided to put them like 30 minutes later. So she's probably just sleepy. And because of that, she's a little bit clingier than usually. But I can see she's fine, just clingy. So the thing is, when you write it down, write everything, and when you burn it, I want you to set the intention for the universe or the earth to take care of that. Just offer it to them and they will keep it, they will take it, they will dissolve it on one of the amazing powers of the earth is that she turns it all into fertilizer. So if you actually burn the ashes, you may allow that energy to create something new in the new year. But first, it needs to be burned because we don't want those things. And that burning might create a little feeling of mourning, like we lose something. And it's perfectly okay to feel that way. And we will go even deeper into that tomorrow because tomorrow we will be releasing our old identities that keep us stuck. And that might create even more heavy feelings. But when we move through all that, we will be much clearer and able to track what we want. So we are releasing all the unneeded baggage, everything that we don't want to take into the new year. All right. Do you feel like sharing any of your frustrations from your list?
I don't know if it's a frustration, but just the aftermath of my dad's passing and just dealing with family issues,
Mhm.
particularly my brother and attitude.
Mhm.
And then I think I mentioned like bringing my work home. As a teacher, it's
Mhm.
very,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, always in your mind. Did they eat? Do they have warm clothes? So
Mhm.
it's that's hard. But I
Yeah.
really, yeah, yeah. Top.
Yeah. So when you burn that piece of paper, let us know in the comments under the post how it felt afterwards. Because it might go two ways. It might feel like ease already, like freeing, and some excitement might even appear, or it might go the opposite way into sadness. Both ways are perfectly okay. And it just needs to be processed in a supportive environment. I don't want to leave anyone alone with this work because it's going to be like today is gentle. Today we start gently. Tomorrow will be the deepest emotional work, I presume. And I don't want anyone to feel like left alone or left with those emotions. We are in here in this together, and we are shedding together all those frustrations. So if anything shows up, do share that, or if you don't feel like sharing publicly, you can always DM me, and I will try to hold you through all that. So that's the thing that I want to do, to create. And the rule of thumb is that nothing is too big or too small or too petty or too trivial to be put on that list. Because all those small things, like mother's mind has to remember thousands of tiny details every day. And the teacher's mind even more. So the thing is, when you put it on paper, the brain doesn't recognize it as something that requires the space anymore. It like what's on paper, it's off your mind. So when you put those things on paper and then you burn that paper, you're it's not even on energetic level, it's on subconscious and neurological level, that your brain will recognize that as a problem solved. So that's the magic of that, like on triple levels at the same time. um so yeah, does that resonate?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we usually as moms, one of our biggest frustrations is usually lack of time. Oh, come on now, you jump on the bed. Everybody always wants mommy whenever I start talking to my computer. So I might put that on my frustration list. So the thing is, the thing that we have the least is time, usually. But around, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I started telling myself that I actually do have the time for the things that are important to me. I use it as an affirmation over and over, because like if I told myself that I have the time for everything I want, I wouldn't recognize, my mind wouldn't recognize that as a true thought. So I changed it a little bit to I have the time for the things that are important to me. And it felt lighter and it felt true enough to actually work as an affirmation. Because that's true. Like if something is important to me, like for example, my children, I always have time for my children, like being playing with them at least once a day, doing homework, getting them fed, getting them dressed, all these things like that. They are important to me, and I always find the time to do that, even if it's like 9 p.m. So these things are important. I always find the time for my clients to respond to their DMs, to join calls, to organize things for them and with them, because they are important to me. If the dog, like the dog is my husband's, but if she scratches the door and whines at the front door, I know she needs to go out, and I got to make the time to take her out, because otherwise I would have to make the time to clean the floor. So there are things that are important, and I always manage to make the time for them. And then there are things that are important, and somehow I don't have time for them. And when I really look at them, I realized that these things didn't really feel important enough. Like going to work is important. So when I was still employed at school, like till last June, um, I like everything resolved around my working hours, revolved around my work. Like when I finished, I could pick the kids up, I could go home, make dinner, everything. But if one of my kids, knock on wood, had an accident, I would call work that I cannot come in that day and I have to take my kids to the emergency because that would be more important in that particular moment, right? So when something is important, you do find the time for that. If something isn't important, you don't find the time for that. So now about the shedding, our schedules are usually filled with lots of things that steal our time. And whenever we start choosing what things we want consciously and with full awareness, we realize that we actually do have the time for things like self-care, for things like playtime with the kids. Sometimes, like, most moms don't have the time for self-care, or at least claim so. That's because we were told over and over again throughout our like growing years until we became moms ourselves that a mother should sacrifice herself. A mother should do everything for her children. A mother should do this, a mother should do that. And most of those things are actually quite contradictory. Like everything we hear about motherhood, you should breastfeed, you shouldn't breastfeed too long, you should be connected with your children, but you shouldn't spoil them. Most of the things that moms do earn a throne from someone. Whatever you do, you can always be judged for it as a mom. And that conditioning also makes it more difficult for us to actually take care of our own needs, of our own mental health, of our own well-being. And when we are drained, when we are unhealthy, tired, sleep deprived, we aren't showing up for our kids at our best because we don't give them what's best in us, we give them what's left of us, if that makes any sense. So being a good mom is actually a little bit selfish. Being a good mom is a little bit selfish because you need to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Amazing. So I know you do have time for books because you read like a book a day.
I do. That's my me time. I wake up early and work out, and then at night after the day is done, that's how I just release the energy of the day is by reading a
Mm-hmm.
book.
Yeah.
It helps escape that reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they say like in the past, like the the Western medicine, the science-based medicine, um, claimed that like psychology wasn't very popular when the medicine was like growing and developing. And all things related to the brain were still considered not very scientific. And imagination in the Western tradition culture is still considered something extra, something not really needed. And those wisest, like smartest people like Einstein and other scientists of his like caliber, they say that imagination is the more important than intelligence. I think that's Einstein actually. Um, this is because everything that is in this world has first been something imagined in the human mind. So by reading, writing, creating, imagining things, we are literally creating something in the world, even if it doesn't like manifest right away. Like Henry Ford, I think he had years of trials before he actually created the combustion engine. Edison is like anecdotal about trial and error and how those things, how many trials need to be done in order for something to be created. And without imagination, they wouldn't be possible. So they were created only because someone called a madman had an idea and was mad enough to pursue it. So reading books, I wouldn't say it's escaping the reality. Maybe from one point of view it is, but reading books is also transforming the reality. Because like I literally, when I wrote my books, and I wrote my first book when I was processing the feminine and the masculine energies. And that's how the Sword of the Savage Queen was created, because I wanted to create a place that would be 100% feminine without the masculine element. And that was where I was at that point. And I needed that masculine energy in my life and my business in order to build a framework, a scaffold that my divine feminine could feel supported by. And that masculine element was the main male character of the book, who was pulled into that feminine kingdom. And without him, well, I don't think the queen would actually win in the end. So that was something I needed as a human, as a transforming my own identity. I needed that book to be born through me so that these energies can be more balanced in me. Then the second book was about me making the bravest decision of my life. So I had to find my inner tigress. And that was Mila. And I like the bravest decision of my life was actually quitting my job at school and going full-time online coach. And I stood before a crossroads. Like I wanted to share this story on a different day, but maybe today is the day. I stood at the crossroads whether I should, because I realized that doing two things at the same time is not sustainable. Being employed at school, which takes a lot of energy, and running a business, which takes a lot of energy, and being a mom, which takes a lot of energy, it wasn't sustainable for me. I wasn't able to do all the three things together. So I decided I either have to quit my job at school and just stay in business, or quit my business and stay at school. And I was thinking not from the point, like, if I thought logically, I would have stayed at school because that's the safest thing. But I realized, like, how would I explain that to my clients? that decision didn't make any sense on an energetic level because what I want to create in the world, the impact, the change, the shift, the ripple effect, that's through the coaching that I do. It's not through being in a system. Like I love working with kids. I adore working with kids, but I hate the system, literally. It's like too square. Like everyone is put in a box. My own child is neurodivergent. He doesn't fit in any boxes. So I decided to go full-time coaching. It's been a wild ride since then, but I'm still standing and I've never felt more fulfilled. So I can say that with clear conscience that I never felt more fulfilled. And that's what's giving me the energy to actually create this sisterhood of moms here in the Awakened Mothers Rising. And through that here flight. Um, so whether you're watching a replay or here live with us, I want you to give yourself a promise. Give yourself a promise. Um, and it will be very individual for you. What are you going to promise yourself? Is it staying true to who you truly are? Is it releasing those frustrations and keeping facing your true north? Is it something more specific, maybe? Because those two are like the core of that, but everybody may have something more specific in mind. So I want you right now to take your journal and write down what are you promising yourself for the next, and now hear me out, 12-year cycle of the Chinese calendar and 9-year cycle till the next year 9, because we are in year 1 right now. What will be the next year 9? 2034. Am I right? Yeah, 2034. It feels like this far away. But what are you promising yourself? Because you totally deserve that. Write it down right now. What are you promising yourself? And when you go to the reflection post, feel free to share that if you feel like it. And we are left with two things. So I have a gift for everyone who joins live, and it's a card reading. So I don't know, Erin, if you are able to answer right now. If you are, you can write in the chat or unmute
Yes.
yourself. Do you want a card reading, and do you have a specific question?
I don't really have a question right offhand, no, but sure, go for it.
Okay. So do you have a question? Once again?
Not right now, no, I can't think of anything.
So the question would be, what does Erin need to hear today?
There we go.
Let's see what comes through. So we have the Council of Light. Council of Light, which is divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. We have Awakening. Energetic upgrades, new way of being, integration. And we have the Sisterhood of the Rose, one of my favorite cards. Because it's about sisterhood. Beauty and devotion, priestess, teacher. So what's coming through? You are not alone. You are supported both in the physical and spiritual realms. You have your sisters around you, and you have your spirit guides and the Council of Light on the other side. Um, and even if you feel alone, just close your eyes and think who you can connect with and feel supported. And awakening, this is something we're all going through right now. I feel it's like a what's the word? Like everyone is going through that in this particular time because of the transition that we're going through from the shedding to the gallop. We need to drop all the bags and go for the new, and that's the energetic upgrade um, that we are all going through. And we are not going through that alone. That's also important. We're going through that as as a planet, even we can say. All right. Does that resonate?
It did, yes, it was very nice. Thank you.
All right. So the last thing I wanted to ask you, do you want to hear about Hearth Light? Like I will share about Mother Light tomorrow. Tonight I wanted to share about Hearth Light. So where
What is that another class like this one?
no, Hearth Light is like an ongoing thing.
Gotcha.
So let me show you what I mean. So when you go to the classroom in the school group, you will see those two things are locked.
Mm-hmm.
So Here's Light is a little bit like a membership. It's a bi-weekly meeting for moms, and you will see that in the calendar. I actually changed it now because one is at 11 a.m. Warsaw time, so that will be probably at night for you. And
Mm-hmm.
the other one is on Friday at this time, like the same time that the event calls are. And this
Okay.
Friday, I actually decided to do an open one, so this will be free for everyone, just to see what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And Here Flight is a new thing. I'm just opening it now. That's why I'm really excited about it, and I want at least a few months to join that because Motherlight has been my baby since last July. Um, and it's more of a high impact
Mm-hmm.
transformational coaching program. And Here's Light is more like a membership. It's more of a community of moms meeting each other on Zoom, like, women sitting around the hearth and sharing. I will be doing coaching during that too, if anyone has anything that requires support or any help
This is so
moving
hard.
through emotion. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, sorry. One of the kiddos asked a question and I forgot to mute it.
um, yeah, so that's Here's Light. It's what I wanted for the Awakened Mothers Rising, but deeper, because we get to meet each other on Zoom once a week. And share our lives and receive coaching. And it's only $27 per month, which, like, if you go even if you go only once a week, it's still like it's free. But in the past version of Awakened Mothers Rising, it was for free and people didn't see any value in that because, like, when something is free, why should I bother? We all know that because we have downloaded hundreds of free courses and PDFs and everything, and half of them is probably never opened. So I decided to actually create that tiny payment for that, just so that moms actually show up for themselves. That's why it's so important that we make that promise to ourselves, because if we don't look after ourselves first, or at least at the same level as we look after all our family members, then we will end up drained, and like you cannot pour from an empty cup. But if your cup is so full that it's overflowing, you actually want to give. So the purpose of this whole, both the Awakened Mothers Rising and the Here's Light, the purpose is that we actually pour not from the cup, we pour from the saucer.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm just sharing about that now, because I know people will ask questions about that if I don't share clearly. If anyone has any questions, feel free to DM me or ask about it, create a post or comment or anything in the group. Or maybe you have any questions right now.
I do not know. If we
All
signed up to link, I lied, I did have a question.
Once again, can you repeat?
If we join, is the link on the calendar? On like on Friday?
Actually, this is something school just introduced because they created those groups that are free and have paid offers.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I think if you click on this, because on your screen it will have this little lock on it.
Okay.
I think it should guide you to the payment page, or I actually added it here. When you go to your next steps, there's a link here. If you go Awaken Mothers Rising plans, so you will see this. So the premium, it didn't allow me to change the names. I would, of course, change the names because the premium is the Here's Light and the VIP is the Mother Light coaching program.
Okay.
Oh, you don't, am I sharing the screen? No.
No.
So okay, I talked to you and I didn't show this. So once again, when you go to the classroom and you go to your next steps, at the bottom here you have plans, and it will show you this screen so you can pick. If anyone wants to upgrade, you can do it through here. And this is how it works.
Okay.
Okay. So, do we have any other questions, reflections?
No.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for coming live. I know you're at work, so it's like being torn between two things right now. So I really appreciate it. I hope more people join tomorrow. Sometimes it goes like that, the people join on day 2 or in the middle of day 2 sometimes. So I hope we have a bigger group tomorrow. I think someone else might join Thursday because I asked one of my Motherlight clients to actually come and share.
Nice.
So at least one person will join Thursday. Yeah, and I hope more people will join on Friday because I actually want this to be a community, a sisterhood, to actually have its proper form and shape. But it's, as I said, Here's Light is a new thing. I just actually shaped it in the way that I wanted, and it feels really aligned right now. And if it doesn't start big, it might just grow over time. I am dedicated to creating this space to growing it and actually building up that loving sisterhood of moms that will create that ripple effect that I talked about all the time. All right. So once again, thank you so much for coming. And see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.